Welcome back to News here on the Rise News. Now, the Ondo State House of Assembly has vowed to impeach the Deputy Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa for alleged failure to respond to a notice served on him regarding allegations of gross misconduct. This is despite calls by stakeholders to avert crisis in the state. According to the Assembly, the notice was delivered to the Deputy Governors through his Chief Protocol Officer. Now, the Speaker emphasized that the decision to serve the notice on Ayedatiwa was reached through a resolution passed by the House, which is in accordance to Section 188 of the Constitution. Olamide Oladiji noted that the Constitution stipulates that the Assembly should wait for 7 days for the embattled Deputy Governor to respond, which has lapsed. For a conversation on this and the crises in Ondo State, we are now being joined by a political analyst and the General Secretary, Ondo Redemption Front. I want to say thank you very much for joining us today.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right, it's good to have you here today. Let's get it started by saying that it seems the House of Assembly in Ondo State have resolved to go on a war path regardless of mediations going on and regardless of the fact that the APC has called for a truce and a roundtable discussion, or maybe we'll call it a consensus addendum of some sort. What do you have to respond to this, the defiance of the State House of Assembly on this particular issue?
Thank you. I think first and foremost, let me acknowledge the decision of the national leadership of the APC to intervene in this. It's unprecedented. A lot of times when there are issues like what is being witnessed in Ondo State, the party looks the other way and people take decisions on their own. Secondly, the insistence of the Ondo State House Assembly to remove the Deputy Governor, Honorable Lucky Ayedatiwa, from office, clearly speaks about the fact that they have something more ulterior than what is in the surface that the ordinary eyes can see, especially when you look at the fact that this is already a subject of litigation. This matter has been taken before the courts, both in Abuja and Ondo State.
So what you're saying is this is a personal vendetta.
It looks so much like this. And
yes,
and I don't know why another arm of government, which is the legislature, is so desperate to remove the second man in position when even the governor, who Mr. Ayedatiwa is deputizing, has not been seen at any point in time, raising issues about his deputy. Then one needs to ask, what is it with the Ondo State House of Assembly? Are there complaints from the governor himself? Are there complaints from the people of Ondo State? Or whose agenda is the Ondo State House of Assembly really pursuing to the extent that it is so resolute, to the extent that it is ready to disobey lawful orders of the court just to remove the Deputy Governor?
Very good. And APC's reconciliation committee set up after appealing to the state legislatures to halt impeachment of the Deputy Governor. Do you think it'll yield positive results here? We've already talked about the issue of having maybe something else is afoot here regarding, despite a mediatory effort.
Well, it is expected that the intervention of the national leadership of the APC, especially when we look at the caliber of people that have made up that committee, former Governor Masari, former Governor Gbega Itola, senators from Lagos, and some other very prominent members of the party, constituting that committee, it is expected that they will objectively look at these issues and come out with a resolution that will ease the tension that has been created by the move by the Ondo State House Assembly, because the truth and the reality on the streets of Ondo State is that this is an unpopular move. It has created unnecessary tension, especially at the time when Ondo State seems to be practically lacking leadership. The last time the governor of Ondo State was seen in the state was in May. Practically, the governor is unavailable. Then the person who ordinarily should be taking leadership in his absence is being, focused on for impeachment. And so it looks like an agenda to continually shortchange the people of Ondo State, deny them of leadership as the case is currently. And that is why the intervention of the APC at this time becomes important. And I think it may not only resolve the crisis that the House of Assembly is having with the Deputy Governor for whatever reason, but will also help in restoring leadership that is currently lacking in Ondo State as the case is now.
But as they say, usually they say it takes two to tango. And we spoke about a particular consensus added them. If the State House of Assembly are still hell-bent on a war path, what can the national body, talking about the national party, APC, do about this?
The APC national leadership has asked the Assembly to halt the process of the impeachment.
That has fallen on deaf ears.
If they insist, you must understand that.
Posted Constitution,
yes,
Section 188.
Of course, as much as what Section 188 empowers the House to embark on the removal of governor or deputy or whosoever, the same Constitution must be respected, because this matter is already before the court, and as a lawmaking organ of government, it is expected that the House of Assembly would not sit in Akure in its chambers to challenge the decision of the court. It must go to that court to challenge whatever decision has been taken by the court. And they must understand that this is a democracy. They are not running a private enterprise in the Assembly. They are representing the people of Ondo State. They must also consider what is the view, what is the opinion of the people of Ondo State as regards this journey they are embarking upon. As far as the state is concerned now, it is not acceptable, it is not popular, and the people are opposed to this. So beyond the fact that they are relying on the dictate of the Constitution, as they are consistently quoting, they must understand what the people of Ondo State also desire. The people of Ondo State desire leadership, and at present, leadership is missing because the governor is nowhere to be found, and the deputy governor, who should really be acting, is being distracted by these persons who are behind this impeachment move. So beyond whatever law is being quoted by the Assembly, most important is what is the opinion of the Ondo State people. It's a street reality. And you can also see the tempo in the media. It is not a popular move. The people are not in support. And irrespective of how well or how desperate they are to remove the deputy governor, it must go through the process of the law.
Indeed. Now let's go to the other side. We're focusing on the APC here. Now, the whole uncertainty regarding the governors of the ruling party in Ondo. Is the opposition taking advantage to leverage on APC's current challenges in Ondo right now? Are you seeing signs of that movement, as it were?
Well, unfortunately, even the opposition, in my own view, is not doing anything reasonable to even challenge the current situation as being, driven by the APC in Ondo State. Ordinarily, one would have expected a serious opposition to have mobilized the people, actively engaged the process, because how can you have a state where governor is nowhere to be found, not spoken to the people, not done anything, in fact, not stepped his foot on the soil of the state for about 5 months, and does an opposition exist in such a state? So for me, no matter the political advantage they may want to take from the current situation, the people of Ondo State will be the ultimate decider of whatever the political future of Ondo State will be, irrespective of the aspiration or the ambition of any political party. As it is, the people of Ondo State are looking beyond the interest of whatever political party. What the people of Ondo State are desperately yearning for now is leadership, which is lacking. As I speak with you, 2 major towns, linking the state capital, are already cut off because the roads are broken. A lot of public infrastructures are in decay. If you drive through the streets of Akure today, it's like you are driving through the dump sites because nobody is practically in charge of governance. But those who should ordinarily take charge of governance in the absence of the governor are busy, running around trying to remove the deputy governor or scheming to become governor also, in 2024. So the people for now are more interested in how to get leadership, how to get their roads back, how to get their hospitals working, how to get palliatives. This is one of the least states now that is attending to the welfare of the people aftermath of the removal of subsidy. So these are the issues as far as we are concerned as Ondo State people, not really the interests of politicians who may be hiding somewhere to take advantage of what is currently happening in Ondo State.
All right, but some would say that all this crisis stems from the fact that the governor himself is also on the side of the House of Assembly, almost giving them his blessings in absentia, but he's giving them his blessings to go after the deputy governor because he knows that the deputy governor is eyeing a seat as his successor, so to speak.
No, I would not want to totally agree with that, except as it may not be known in the public, I've not seen anywhere that the deputy governor has declared his intention to succeed Mr. Akeredolu.
It's no secret that the deputy governor
these are
is eyeing the...
No, these are assumptions. And if you know, it's one of the funny things about this planned removal of the deputy governor. When the House of Assembly started this move,
yes,
it came from the point of the deputy governor took money from 2 billion given to Ondo State by the federal government for palliative. The deputy governor took 300 million naira to purchase an armored SUV. Then also, trying to polarize the cabinet so as to take over from the governor. Then we asked, at one point did the deputy governor take 300 million from the palliative money? Then when the process actually started, that allegation flew away like a bird. They could not pinpoint where he took any 300 million naira. They retracted that. How can you just sit down and read the mind of a man and call something which you said is an intention? Are you mind readers? That he has ambition. Every human being can have ambition, but at what point did Mr. Aiyedatiwa declare that he wants to succeed his principal? Another point is that till date, Mr. Akeredolu has not been seen anywhere publicly, even speaking for or against the planned removal of his deputy, because the people behind this move were people who, in their desperation to get the deputy governor out, sometimes around September 7, smuggled the governor back from Germany where he was undergoing medical treatment just to retrieve the mandate given to his deputy as acting governor, from him, then kept the governor somewhere in Ibadan or wherever so that they can embark on this process. So in the real sense of it, at no time has Governor Akeredolu spoken against his deputy till date.
So what's the political...
So these are people who are just exploiting the name of the governor to disorganize the state.
Going on in Ondo State. What will the removal of the deputy governor serve when you're looking at the grand scheme of things?
It has nothing to serve than the inordinate ambition of some politicians around Governor Akeredolu to either become deputy governor or governor in 2024. They are not people who are interested in the progress of the state. They are not people who are concerned about what is happening. In actual fact, a lot of them, for somebody like me, I perceive them as not lovers of the governor. Nobody would, in his right frame of mind, look at the current health condition of Mr. Governor and be pushing politics around him, bringing him to sign letters and withdraw letters and be scaring about what the average person, people of Ondo State for months were organizing public prayers, civil servants were praying, everybody, people were wishing the governor quick recovery. But why the ordinary people were doing that? These people were busy in their boardroom, plotting graphs about who becomes deputy, who succeed, where does the next governor come from. And these are people around the governor, unfortunately. Not even the so-called enemies of the governor. And in the overall, only God knows who is going to be the next governor of Ondo State. And the electorate will decide that, not these few individuals.
Still talking about the next governor. The elections are next year, November, as it were. So what will it take to, improve relationships between the governor and his deputy, knowing that, one way or the other, this has to be resolved amicably?
Take, for instance, the recent crisis between the governor of Edo State and his deputy, Governor Banseki and Comrade Philip Shoaibu. You could see that at one point or the other, the governor came out to express his displeasure about the conduct of the deputy. The deputy at one point or the other also came out to express his displeasure about what he perceived as being done to him by the governor. But as we speak in Ondo State, at no time has the deputy governor raised any issue about his principal, the governor. At no time, even while the governor was around, before embarking on medical leave, up to the day he returned, where that letter was transmitted to the House of Assembly, even though in Ibadan, not in the state capital, Governor Akeredolu has not at any time expressed displeasure about his deputy. It is the game plan of some desperate politicians around and it is deliberate, because these people are capitalizing on the ill health of Mr. Governor to do, because the Governor Akeredolu that is so audacious that no matter who you are to him, he will confront you and openly express himself. If Governor Akeredolu has had anything against Mr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa, it will be in the public. Even when he's not comfortable with the attitude of the federal government under the last administration, you saw him on several occasions coming out to challenge the federal government. So who is his deputy that he would not be able to challenge? So Mr. Akeredolu is not the kind of governor who hides somewhere his feeling and begin to use mercenaries. That is why for us as people of Ondo State, we believe this is not the handiwork of Mr. Keredolu, because Mr. Keredolu, former NBA president, a courageous person that you all know, will not hide somewhere and be sending people like the characters in the House of Assembly this kind of errand to get his deputy out. I believe so much that these people are exploiting the current situation of the governor, and they are not representing the governor of Ondo State.
All right, I want to say many thanks to you, Mr. Olufemi Lawson, the General Secretary of Ondo Redemption Front.
It's my pleasure.
For your time on the crisis in Ondo State.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.